Well, now we are going to start vector, right? We have completed dq. Now we need to start what? Vector. First I'll explain what is vector and what is the difference between vector and dq. We'll see, right? So what is the next STL we are discussing? Vector. So to work with vector, what is header file you need to include? Hash include vector. Fine. This is an header file. Okay. Now we'll see what are all the functions available in vector. What is the first function available is push underscore back. Second function pop underscore back. Next we have a function what? Insert. Next we have erase. Next we have clear, swap, operator for this. Next we have it. Both almost work same. Next we have data. So these are all the functions we are having. If any function is there, while discussing I will discuss, right? Emplace. Okay, fine. So what is the difference between vector and dq? We will discuss. First you understand vector internally uses dynamic array concept. Vector internally uses what? Dynamic array concept. Okay. So vector internally uses what? Dynamic array concept. Okay, fine. Now we will see all the functionalities. Is that clear for you so far? Well, we have seen, right? Like see here, there are some other functions, no? Like pop underscore back, we have front, we have back. Fine. So these are all the functions we are having in the vector. Now we'll start discussing each and every function. Okay, fine. Let us take, I'll create a vector. How do I create a vector? Vector, okay, first we'll see void main. Vector int v is equal to, just understand, 10, 20, 30. See, we are having another function called size also, right? Well, so how many ways I can print this data? I'll just explain you. First is here, try to understand. What I'll do, you know, vector int v int colon iterator it is equal to v dot begin. Means what? Iterator will point it to the beginning of the vector. Iterator will point it to the beginning of a vector. Next, what can I do? While it not equal to v dot end. V dot end is a theoretical element which will be pointing to the after last element. Next, what should I do? Cout star it plus it. Fine, that's all. So star it will print you what? 10. Next plus it pointed to 20, star 20, plus 80 pointed to 30, star 30, plus 80, it will point to the end. We are coming out. So this is one way to print the data. What is the other way? I don't want to use iterator. How do I do that? See here. For int I is equal to 0, I less than size, I is equal to I plus 1. Now what is the value of I? I value will be 0, I value will be 0, 1, 2, like that. Size value is 3, right? The number of elements in the vector are 3. So I value will be what? 0, 1, 2. Size value is 3. Now what can I do? Cout v of I. I told you, right? Here we can use index operator also. Here we can use index operator. Next v of 0. V of 0 is 10. V of 1 is 20. V of 2 is 30. Instead of this, how can I write? Cout v dot et of I. V dot et of I, right? So v dot et 1, et 2, at 3, like that we can write, whichever the way you want you can write. These are the two ways that we can print the data. Fine. Now we need to see, try to understand what is the difference between vector and DQ, right? See here, in the case of DQ, internally it is using double linked list. So when there are elements like this, if you want to insert at the front, I can insert at the front using push front function, If you want to insert element at the end, I can insert the element at the start, push front function, at the end, push back function, right? See, if you want to insert an element at the front, we'll use push front function. If you want to insert at the element at the last, we'll use push back function, right? So to insert an element here, we need O of 1 time complexity. Here also, if you want to insert an element, we can use O of 1 time complexity. But try to understand, in the case of vector, the elements are stored in continuous location like this. Okay, this is how it is there. So there is another, let me explain you another thing is like there is another function called capacity. What is the need of capacity here is, listen carefully, there is another function called capacity. First, the equation is size is always less than or equal to capacity. Let me explain you why the concept is designed like this. Here, now what is the size? 3, capacity will be 4. Okay, fine. If one more element is added, what is the size? 4, capacity will be also 4. If one more element is added, size will be what? 5, but capacity will be resized to 8. Capacity will be resized to 8. Why? Instead of adding only one extra element, see, if the initial capacity of a vector is 4, when we assume, when 4 elements are full, as it is a dynamic array, if you want to add a new element, you need to resize the vector. Again, I am telling, listen, assume the initial capacity of a vector is 4. Means what? We can store 4 elements. As vector is full, if you want to add new element, we need to resize it to what? 5. But instead of resizing it to 5, we are resizing it to 8. Why? After adding 5 elements, if that was resized to 5, if you want to add new element, again you need to resize, right? Now see, if you want to add 6th element, do we need to resize again? No. Why we should not resize? Because already size is 8. Next 7, not resize, 8. If you add 9, immediately this is resized to 16. Means what? Capacity is resized in what order? Doubling order. Capacity is resized in what order? Doubling order. When you resize the capacity in the doubling order, the growth of the vector will be what? Log n. I hope this is very clear. Every time instead of resizing, from 8 we resize to 16. If the vector we are adding 9th element, 10th element, 12th element, any element, still the vector size will be what? 16. That is the reason the capacity is very much important. So capacity will grow in 2 powers. Capacity will grow in what? 2 powers. Size is our actual size. How many elements are there in the vector? That actual size we are going to have in the what we call size function. Capacity function is always 2 powers. That's one other important point you need to see. Now come back. This type of feature is not there in the double linked list. That is a feature available in the vector. That is the first important thing you need to know. Next important thing what you need to know, right? As it is using dynamic array, if you want to add a new element here, understand, if you want to add a new element here, then what should I do? I need to move this element here, I need to move this element here, I need to move this element here, right? That is a costly job. That is a costly operation. That is the reason what I am trying to do here. I am giving you a function called pushback. So what I mean to say, if you can write v dot push underscore back of 40 means what? We can insert here because already the slot is empty. I hope this is very clear, right? So if you want to get the first element, if you want to get the last element, how can I tell? If you can tell v dot front, which element is added first element, so 10. V dot back, which element is added last? 40. So that is how you are able to get the first element and the last element in the vector. Well, now we'll see another function. See here, let us take vector. I am interested to store int and v is equal to, let us take 10, 20, 30. We are having a vector like this. Okay, fine. Now whenever I tell v dot begin, what happens? An iterator to the first element is returned. So that you need to store in which variable? Auto. Instead of this, I want a pointer to the first element. How do I do that is, listen carefully, v dot data. Whenever you write v dot data, I am going to return an actual pointer to the first element. So now p I am writing, okay, p. So p should be what type? Int star p. Understand the difference between v dot begin and v dot data. Sometimes that type of questions are asked in the interview room. Be careful. V dot begin will give you the iterator to the first element. V dot data will give you the pointer to the first element. See, strictly speaking, iterator also internally uses pointer. That is the reason we were using star 80 every time. Okay, fine. And using p, we are able to know how do we process the data, right? Fine. That is one important difference you need to know. Next is here, another thing. Let us take, this statement is completed. Now I am writing it is equal to it plus 1. Now this is your vector. Initially id was here, it moved here. I hope this is very clear, right? Now what I am trying to, v dot insert it comma 15. What is the meaning of this statement? Wherever id is there, at it I need to insert 15. Means 30 will move here, 20 will move here, 15 will come. So very important point is, inserting an element into a vector is a costly job. Better avoid that operation. If there is no other go, you can insert, but we don't recommend it. This is one thing. Next what? V dot insert it comma 2 comma, let us take 30. What is the meaning of this thing? Like see here, already assume the vector is like this, 10, 20, 30 and iterator is pointing here. Let us take this 111. What is the meaning of this statement? At the it position, 111 should be inserted 2 times. Means what? The resultant vector will be what? First 10 will be there. Next 111, 20, 30. Right? So this is what value is copied. This is what range is copied. I hope this is very clear, right? So not range, no. Value is filled. Right? So 2 places are filled with 111. 2 places are filled with 111. Next we'll see another example. See here. Vector int v1 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We are having a vector like this, right? Now vector int v2 is equal to 111, 222, 333, 444. Be careful, don't get any confusion. Okay, fine. Now what we are trying to do, vector int colon iterator it1 is equal to v1 dot begin. it1 is equal to v1 dot begin. Now initially it1 will point to 10. Now what I am trying to do, it1 is equal to it1 plus 1. Now it1 will point to 20. Next what I am trying to do, vector int colon iterator it2 is equal to it1 plus 2. it1, where it1 pointing here, plus 2, plus 1 plus 2. Fine, completed. Now it1 is pointing to 20, it2 is pointing to 50. Right, fine. Now what I am trying to do, v2 dot insert. v2 dot insert means we are trying to call insert on this vector. What I am trying to write here is v2 dot begin. Whenever you write v2 dot begin, you will get an iterator to the first position plus 1 I am writing. If you write plus 1, now your iterator is pointing here, comma, it1, comma, it2. What is the meaning? Into this vector, we need to insert, understand, into this vector, we need to insert at this position with this range. Always you understand it1 is inclusive, it2 is exclusive. Means from it1 to it2, we need to insert the elements into this vector at this given position, right? So what will be the output present in V2 now? First value will be what? 111. Next value will be what? 20. Next value will be 30. Next value will be 222, 333, 444. I hope this is very clear, right? So what we are trying to do here, can you please understand? This range where it2 is not considered, we inserted into another vector. Okay, so we can insert one value into a vector, we can insert range into vector, we can insert field value into vector. Here we can insert range into vector. Same like all other things, right? Okay, fine. Same thing with what? Arrays also. Okay, fine. Next we will see anyhow arrays also, right? See here. Let us take, here only I am talking. If I write v1 dot arrays of it1, what is the meaning of this statement? Arrays will remove the element where it1 is pointing. Where it1 is pointing? 20. So now 20 is removed. So what will be the resultant elements? We have 10, 30, 40, 50. For example, instead of this statement, what I am writing, v1 dot arrays of it1 comma it2. What is the meaning? We need to erase the elements from it1 to it2. Means what is the resultant? We have 10 will be there, 40 will be there, 50 will be there. So always it1 is inclusive, it2 is exclusive. So that's how we use arrays. How we use in list, DQ, all the things, same way we are using here also. I hope this is very clear, right? The only difference between vector and DQ is in the vector we can insert elements at the back, whereas in the DQ we can insert elements at the front and back. Rest all are same. And another important point is there is a capacity function in the vector because the growing rate will become log n. That is another important point for you people. I hope we covered all the functions, right? And we know empty. If the vector is empty will return what? 1. If vector is not empty will return what? 0. Same. Empty is a common standard function which will return 1 or 0. I hope this is very clear. And mplace also same. It constructs an element and it constructs an element and inserts the value into vector. I hope this is very clear. Well, now I am introducing you a new way to print the data, right? Internally, this is also using a what we call iterator concept only. Try to understand. So this is very popular way. Going forward, this will become very interesting and easy also. Vector int v is equal to 10, 20, 30. Fine. So much analysis we are going to bring it to you. Listen carefully. Now what I am interested is, I want to print all the values in the vector. How do I print here? See, very easy. For int x colon v. For x colon v means what? Iterate x variable for every value in vector. What is the meaning? Iterate x value for every value in vector. What is the syntax? For int x colon v. What is the meaning of this statement? X will be iterated across the values. X will be iterated across the values, not the indexes. That is the reason simply I can write what? C out x. So whenever I write x, first time it is iterated to 10, so answer will be 10. Second time it is iterated to 20, answer will be 20. Third time it is iterated to 30, answer will be 30. I hope this is very clear, right? So if you want as a reference, you can use reference also. Reference is in your optional. I hope this is very clear, right? Fine. If you want for list also, same thing you can use, right? Fine. So this is for what? Iteration. This is for what? Iteration. Okay, fine. Next we are trying to see another important point here. See, vector, this is very important. Vector int v. Now listen, what is the meaning of this statement? We are creating a V object. In the V object, every element is what type? Of vector type. Every element is what type? Vector type. Understand what is the meaning of this statement? Here we are creating, in this vector we are storing what? Integers. In this vector we are storing what? Integers. I hope this is very clear. In this vector we are storing what? In this vector we are storing what? Vector objects. So how do I do that? I will tell you here. Listen, it's easy only. Vector int v1 is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30. Be careful. Vector int v2 is equal to 111 comma 222. Vector int v3 is equal to 5566. So 5566 77. Okay, now v1, v2, v3 are what? Vector objects. So how can I do that now? V dot push underscore back of v1. Whenever I write v dot push underscore back of v1, if this is your vector object, in the vector object first we stored what? v1. In the first vector object first we stored what? v1. Next what? V dot push back v2. Means what? Next we are storing v2 here. Next what? V dot push underscore back of v3. Means what? Array of vector objects, right? This is array of vector objects. So we say vector array. V is a vector array where every element is what type? Vector type. That is what the syntax here. Now we'll try to do some operation. Let us take, I want to print sum, right? Fine. How do you print the sum? Here. It's easy only, just syntax is very important. Now I need to create an iterator to vector. That iterator is what type? Vector int colon. Okay, fine. Next what should I write here? Iterator itv is equal to v dot begin. Okay, now itv will contain what? Iterator to my vector. In this first element is what? Vector. Second element is also vector. Third element is also vector, right? So what I will do? Same thing. While v dot itv, this is itv, right? Not equal to v dot end. If this condition is true, I will come inside. Now our job is, I want to print vector sum, right? I want to print vector sum, vector by vector. I want to print first sum, second sum, third sum. That is what the target we have, right? So for that what I need to do? Int sum is equal to 0. Int sum is equal to 0. Now what I am trying to do, I am writing star it. If I write star itv means what? First value. Means what? First value. v1 is the first value. v1 is the first value. What can I do? I can store into one temporary variable. Vector int temp is equal to star itv. I hope this is very clear. Now temp will contain what? v1. Temp will contain what? v1. Temp will contain v1. Next what can I do? I need to create a vector iterator, or simply what can I write? For int ampersand x colon temp. Means what? X will iterate across every value present in the temp. That is what the advantage we have. Next what is my business logic? Sum is equal to sum plus x. So now what is temp? Temp is v1, right? So now v1 is this one. Every time it repeats 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, 60. So once for loop is completed, I'll tell what? Cout sum. As soon as you tell cout sum, so let me write this variable outside, no? Int sum is equal to 0. Good programming practice. As soon as you tell cout sum, we are going to get what? 60. Next initially, next after that we need to make some value to what? 0. Next we need to make some value to what? 0. After making some value to 0, first object is completed. Now I need to move to the second object. How do you move to the second object? Plus itv. If I tell plus plus IDV, IDV is moving to second object, IDV not equal to end, star IDV. Star IDV means what? V2. V2 is stored in temp. Now we are calculating sum and we are printing the sum. What is the sum for this? Might be 3, 3, 3, right? Next we are going to print what? 3, 3, 3. Next again sum will be initialized to 0 plus plus IDV. Plus plus IDV means we will come here. Understand? Whenever we are coming here, again IDV is not equal, star IDV. Star IDV means V3. Now V3 is what type? Vector type. Now temp will contain. Now again we are trying to do this sum. Once the sum is completed, that sum is printed here. After the sum is reinitialized to 0, plus plus IDV. IDV will point here. When IDV is pointing here, IDV not equal to this false come out. I hope this is very clear. So what we are trying to do, we are creating a one vector object in another vector object. Understand? In this vector, every element is what type? Int type. In this vector, every element is what type? Vector type. In this vector, every element is what type? Vector type. I hope this is very clear. Even this way also you can create. Vector stack int v. What is the meaning of this statement? In the vector, every element is a stack type. In the vector, every element is a stack type. I hope this is very clear. Even like this also you can write vector means what? In this vector, every element is of a vector type. In that vector, every element is of vector type. In that vector, every element is integer type. So whichever the way you want, you can create. But make sure which type you are creating, based on that only you need to type. Why? Because templates means type is very important. Okay, fine.